In this Clash of Clans video, we are going to break down and teach you the best Town Hall 11 attack strategy for 2020. We'll be sure to show you a number of replays breaking down different base designs to give you the skills to get some 3 stars. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, let's dive straight into this. For Town Hall 11, the meta is very arguable. There is a number of attack strategies which could come out in the top spot. I know that you guys really enjoy when I bring you these styles of videos, but for right now, I am going to be recommending the LavaLoon Attack Strategy. We had the MLCW war here at Toxic Rabbits. I've got to give a big shout out to Toxic Rabbits Mind because I haven't covered many replays from our wars for quite some time. So here you go guys, and there will be more coming. If you do want to join us, maxed Town Hall 10s and above, be sure to check out my Discord. It's down in the description of this video. You will find everything you need. So for the LavaLoon, let me know, do you prefer Queen Charge, do you prefer a regular kill squad, or this variation is the Electrone? So let's take a look at exactly what is happening here. We've already taken out part of the base and part of the defenses down to the bottom in what is known as a SUI hero method. Just sending the heroes in, they get whatever value you're hoping for, and then that's it. There's always potential that the Queen could nab the air defense here, which would be good, and the upward expo, and or the wizard tower equally. They're all good defenses to get. There was also potential that the archer queen might have been drawn down to this area and taken out. However, the battle blimp is the Electrone. We're aiming to get right into this area, right smack bang where that archer queen is, because she is your main target on defense. Notice the staggered use of clone spells here. Many of you might know of the Electrone method, but you basically use your clone spells to clone an Electro Dragon and or balloons within that. I shouldn't say and because you can't clone them both, but you get what I mean guys. It's either the Electro Dragon or the balloons. Notice the staggered clone spells though. What that does is send some up into the right side and encourages others down to the left side as well, because they will spawn in the center of that spell, and if it is the balloons, they will then spread to the nearest defense. So that is why the staggered clone spells can be very helpful. The E-Drag is purely there in order to take down the Queen. If you get balloon clones, that's brilliant because you will spread out and take the defenses. If you need an E-Dragon clone, there's no way to guarantee that you get the E-Drag cloned, so some people will just skip the balloons out of the composition. But this is where I feel the Electrone is incredibly powerful in the right base, but also it was used a number of times in this war by Toxic Rabbits, so I will be sure to bring you the different attacks. But if you are just new to learning LavaLoon, which I'm sure many of you might be from this video, it offers you the opportunity of wiping out half of the base before you start the Lalo. Look at this guys. All of this area of the base is gone. Now that's what the Electrone is beautiful for. Not only does it take out huge value, it creates incredible pathing where now we can swoop from the Town Hall area straight around. Now if you cannot take the Eagle Artillery as part of your Electrone, it's always one of them defenses you might want to try and take, but if you cannot, try and get a Multi-Inferno alongside the Queen. Queen is the main target. If you cannot get the Eagle, send your Lalo into that Eagle as soon as possible. You do not want to be hitting the Eagle Artillery towards the end. Now you might notice, again if you're new to Lalo, that there's a number of balloons coming in from separate angles here. Why that is because you want to be surgical on the outside, take out the defenses so you can control the pathing of the balloons inside the base. So this big pack which is grouping together will now move through the middle of the base, and that's exactly what you want. If you don't take out these outside defenses, there's a chance that many of your loons can split to the outside, which is definitely not what you want. So you take them all out in unison and try and merge all of your balloons through the center of the base. I always describe this as a star. Try and send your balloons from the points of the star so that they merge in the middle together And that's when you can use your spells very effectively as well. That Grand Warden's ability, Rage spell, Heal spell, whatever it might be. But for the Lalo, your haste spells are going to be incredibly valuable to power them through the areas where they're in most danger. Whether that be initially when the Lava Hounds are coming in, or to the back end of the base if there is splash damage. And you can note clean up troops as well in that of minions, but also the Lava Pups, helping to move around the base. Now this is just one example. I'm going to break down a number of them that we had from this war so you can see it against different base designs and you have a thorough understanding of what to do. I wanted to bring you this attack replay next because of the Stone Slammer, which offers you variation in how you perform this strategy. So obviously for the Electrone version of LavaLoon, you do need a siege machine from a Town Hall 12. If you do not have access to that, then you will have to use either a kill squad, Sui method, or the Queen charge. If you check out my Town Hall 11 attacks playlist, it's in the description. I will put it in the pinned comments, and also it's on my YouTube channel homepage. You will see all of my Town Hall 11 videos. There'll be examples of that within there. So for the Stone Slammer, what this offers you over the Battle Blimp is that you can take out defenses on the way. You can get value from that Stone Slammer, whereas the Battle Blimp is purely a transport system to dump your troops where you want. The Stone Slammer can get you that value. Now all the King and Queen is being used for right now is to take out the defenses on the outside and also get a little bit more value when they get in. But more importantly, that allows the Stone Slammer straight into the area that we want. Otherwise, it could get a bit zigzagged and it could lose its pathing if we hadn't have taken out the defenses on the outside. I also really like the use of this Ice Golem. Whether you are doing a regular Sui method or using this Electrone method, you might opt for the Ice Golem. It actually freezes 3 defenses here and arguably helps the Queen to get 2 extra buildings. Nearly 3. 2 extra defenses, should I say, in terms of this Archer Tower, the Wizard Tower, and it might have even gone to the air defense. She decides to go to the gold storage, but definitely 2 extra defenses from 15 troop capacity. Consider it, guys. Now we have the Stone Slammer, which will directly target the Wizard Tower. There is nowhere else for it to go. We had some balloons in the first place in order to test, but you might want to put a balloon or 2. What that does is test pathing. You know that the Stone Slammer has the same AI. It will go where you want it to go, and it's not accidentally going to go to, let's say, a cannon or a mortar that's hidden down to the bottom of the base, but also it checks for SAMs. That's the black bombs. I also love these 2 balloons. Reason for that is we already have defenses targeting onto the Stone Slammer so they can sneak in, but also it will help with the pathing of the Stone Slammer. We want it into this thick area so when the bomb tower goes down, there is nowhere else for it to go. Now remember what we said in terms of what you want to try and achieve by sending in the Electrone. You do have to consider the air sweepers. If you're cloning your troops and the sweeper is continually pushing them back, then make sure that you do not miss the clone. It's 3 spell slots. You don't want your balloons and E-drags getting pushed out of the way and then you've dropped a clone somewhere else where they are not. But think about what we said last time. The enemy Queen is here, which is the main reason you would Electrone into an area. But we're also going to be able to get the Eagle Artillery, which remember is a very key defense, and look at how tightly compacted all of these are. We've got the 2 sweepers, which is incredible because it makes the Lalo so much better, but then a bunch of air targeting expos. So Queen and Eagle in itself, along with a couple of other defenses, is great, but there's so much value here, and it's very tightly packed together, which means that even if the E-drags cloned, it really wouldn't matter. We'd still get the value, but the balloons clone, and look at the E-drag, goes to the clan castle. Whenever you have high HP buildings where you're doing your Electrone as well, you can get opportunities like this, where it clones through and just gets so much more value. Now, if you want to rewind just a touch, you will see the air skeletons that popped. You're obviously going to be using your clone, rage. You might need a freeze if the Queen is about to take out the E-drag, and that's something that you can be flexible with. If you don't need that, you can then use it on the LavaLoon as you see now, but also the poison spell as well. If air skellies pop, you might want to put that poison spell in. Now again, we've taken out a huge area of the base that the LavaLoon just comes straight down, and it makes LavaLoon so much easier if you're newer to the strategy, because you don't have to worry about pathing as much, you're not relying on the balloons as much, and if you're taking down the Eagle Artillery as part of the Electrone, then you get to be flexible with the Grand Warden, and we used it in this instance, coming out to the back end of that area. Very dangerous defenses, haste spells right the way through, and pretty much swagging this freeze spell as well. But now that we've broken down the Electrone area of things, let's shift our focus across for the next replay a little bit more towards the LavaLoon deployment, and hopefully a lot of this starts coming together. But if you do have any other tips you want to share, be sure to let me know down in the comments, and whilst you're there, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you enjoy this video and you want to see my daily educational but entertaining Clash of Clans videos. Let's go ahead and move across to the next replay. This replay being the final one of the video, we will focus on that LavaLoon a little bit more like I said, and after this attack I will send you across or put a link on the screen that you can click to a video I did previously on the top 4 Town Hall 11 attack strategies. Maybe this one's not for you, perhaps there's a one in that video that will help you out. So with the Electrone method then, let's break this one down. We have the Queen situated close to the edge of the base. So what Classico decides to do is actually suey the heroes into this area. Different from the first 2 replays you've seen, the heroes are not necessarily used to help create pathing for that Electrone, it's more to get in towards the Queen. Now the Archer Queen on offense is the main thing aiming to get that defending Queen. That's why the King and the Wizard create a funnel on the right, with the Baby Dragon creating a funnel on the left, and leaving a breadcrumb of buildings for the Archer Queen to be drawn in. Creating the funnel is not just taking out buildings on the outside, it's ensuring that you still have buildings that will draw your troop into the base. So the Archer Queen on offense is drawn right into this area where the enemy Archer Queen will be aggroed, and then boom, that's when the heroes will strike and take her down. This then means that the Electrone method can be a little bit more flexible. It's great that we get that Wizard Tower towards the end as well, but now the Electrone can come in. Now think about what we've said, and you've seen the battle blimp already coming into the screen, but basically your main purpose is the Archer Queen, she's down, pathing for your LavaLoon, and then if you can, try and take down either the Eagle or a multi-inferno. Thinking about pathing, the multi-infernos are kind of to the edge of the base, but the Eagle Artillery is situated right in the center. Now all that means is we would have to come in from a number of different angles to then get a good group of balloons into the center. It's harder to do. If you can create an L shape in the base, it makes a much easier LavaLoon. So the battle blimp is targeting this area, whereby we can hit the Eagle, but also wipe out a bunch of buildings in that process as well. So the balloons get cloned, and this is where, again, irrespective of whether your E-Drag or your loons get cloned, you can get good value. In this case, arguably, the balloons is a far better option, because they spread out, they take out the defenses, but what that also does is keep the E-Drag hovering in this area to then clean up and get the Eagle. Now, once you've done your Electrone, I said I would focus more on the LavaLoon. Once you know that the Archer Queen, for example, on defense is going down, you've created the pathing for your LavaLoon, you're good. Do not wait with the LavaLoon. Get it deployed. Right now, these balloons and the Electro Dragon are tanking a bunch of these defenses. For example, the air defense, the Wizard Tower, look, they are shooting up at the balloons. Therefore, we can get a lot better value from the balloons coming in here with the LavaLoon. Why would we wait until the Electrone had fully finished before moving to the next stage? Not only do we get extra damage in terms of the defenses are distracted, It's also time efficient, so get the LavaLoon in. If you do not need the Electrone for pathing, you can actually send it in at the same time as your Lalo. So, I said I'd focus on the Lalo, let's quickly break it down. We've only got defenses with this area of the base, so the Lalo can come in. We've got that nice loop around the base up towards this back end where the multi is. Because balloons target defenses, we know where they will go. So they come in at separate angles here to make sure that as the balloons come forward, they target the multi. They don't get wrapped around the multi because there was defenses around it. We've got to make sure they hit that multi head on. So they do. Once that goes down, we also have to make sure that they loop up towards this area so they get the other multi. And that's where we have another couple of balloons helping. So be sure to get your balloons in and visualize where they will go. Get your balloons in from the sides in order to keep them in the base. You want them surgical initially, then clumping together, but keep that main pack moving through the base. And from there, your spell deployments are so much easier. When you know how to control the pack of loons, it's basically just the appropriate spells for splash damage. Forget about point defense, it's really not as bad as wizard towers, multi-infernos. That is where you have to be using your haste to get to. Maybe the freeze. Perhaps there's an area where there's a huge amount of damage. You might decide to take a rage or a heal, but also do consider that Grand Warden's ability and when you are going to use it. You should still be flexible as part of the attack, but you should have a good idea as to where they are going in your planning phase. So I hope that video has broken down the Electrone into LavaLoon, hopefully provided you tips whether you want to use the Electrone method or not. But if you do have any other tips for viewers, be sure to drop them down in the comments. And also, if you do see tips that are helpful, be sure to like that person's comment because it will push it further up so more people can see it. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. You can go ahead and check out the top 4 Town Hall 11 videos though by checking this one. This will show the top 4 attack strategies for Town Hall 11, give you a bit of the variety, but that wraps it up for this one. Until next time, take care guys.